We'll get rolling. All right. Welcome, everybody. Today is Thursday, October 13th. Thank you for joining us here at MS Office Hours. My name is Heather Cox, and with me today are all of the co-hosts. We're all here. Who's next?
Hey, I'll say
Okay.
hi. Stephanie Stevens, live and in action.
Victoria Dean, also live. Not a lot of action.
Hey everyone, I'm Garrett Chandler. And
And I'm
live.
Andrea Singrio.
And we've got some amazing presenters as well. And you guys can feel free to turn your things on or off during the presentation. But Duran, you want to introduce yourself?
No, I don't. No, I'm playing. I'm Duran Waters, the biggest kid on the phone.
Okay, and next.
I'm Elizabeth Pecora, also not a lot of action here.
And last but not least.
And I'm Brianna Jalan, same here.
All right, so we got a team effort here going on. And one of the things that has come up repeatedly is, okay, Microsoft, y'all are crazy. You have a lot of things going on. You guys love your acronyms. You share all these different things. And so we thought we'd break it down. Now, let me be clear. This is an oversimplification, all right? Like we really broke it down. And it's going to be really basic and really direct because I know a lot of you interact with folks. You probably don't even know what those of us who host office hours do, what our roles are. So we're going to try and we're going to help you out with that. So I am going to give a little pre-presentation notes. We do understand, and we know that not every account and not every person on this call and everyone that attends has a full account team with which they work. Some of them have smaller account teams, and some may not have account teams. So I do understand, and we are thinking about that.
But you have us.
Yeah, you always have us. We are your account team. That's a really great point. But we do have a training hub team that you do not have to be a big old managed account in order to have access to this team of trainers. And then there's always learn.microsoft.com, which can, meet the needs of all sorts of individuals, educators, IT students. It's all of that. So just wanted to give that little quick caveat before we give you, like I said, the very oversimplified Microsoft family tree. I was trying to decide like what icons we needed, and I thought these cats were incredibly fun. So we're going to start. We've got a VP of US Education. Her name is Lydia Smyers. You may have heard her name before. She's on LinkedIn. She's active on LinkedIn and shares
Not
a lot
cat.
of.
She's
Not.
not a
She is
cat.
not a cat. No, she is not. She's a
But we do
real
love
live
her.
human being.
Mhm.
And then what we have at Microsoft are 3 distinct units. And so our team is going to break those down for you. We have what's called an account team unit, the specialist team unit, and the customer success unit. And we'll actually tell you where the office hours host, where we live in that picture. So we're going to take a big picture and then we're going to get smaller and smaller. And that's why Brianna and Elizabeth and Duran are on the call today. And you may hear us use acronyms all the time. And so that's when we say ATU. That's what we mean. And STU. I don't say STU, although I've heard people say it. I say STU. And then CSU. So I'm going to move it forward and turn it over to the account team unit here. Who's somebody want to
Steph,
take that one?
do you want me to take it? I can take it.
Go for it, Garrett.
I'll take it. All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the ATU. This is really comprised of 2 main individuals, the account executive and the account technology strategist, or the ATS. So the account executive is the primary relationship owner between Microsoft and you as the customer. So really, it's their job to help you understand your business challenges, to understand what Microsoft offers and map the 2 together. They are also kind of an orchestrator in all the different people that you have at your disposal as a customer. But even some of the individuals that may come from like partners or services or other things like that, the AE is going to have a very broad vision of everything that's going on in the organization and have your best interest in mind. So they're really there to help drive those solutions, but from a business perspective. And then coupled with that is the ATS, and they are a technical strategist. I like to refer to them as virtual CTOs because they really are going to get a little deeper into those business scenarios, business issues, business problems, whatever you're trying to solve, and map those to solutions that Microsoft offers. They carry a very broad knowledge of the entire Microsoft portfolio. So you can think of it as like a mile wide, but an inch deep. They kind of have that level 100 knowledge across all products and services of Microsoft. Like even the things that you don't think about, they know about it, right? Or they know someone who can dive a little bit deeper. So these two are really there to help drive the organization's goals and outcomes, mapping to our solutions. Anything you want to add, Stephanie, or?
No, I think you
That
hit
makes
the nail
sense.
on the head. Those are probably the top two people that you would interact with. You know, the most touch points that you would have if you are on an account with an account team. Those are the folks you're going to hear from most
They're your
often.
main reps. When you think
Yep.
of a Microsoft rep, it's these two.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Got it. All right. I'm happy to jump in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the STU, or the Specialist Team Unit, is where Garrett and Victoria and I live. And so this comprises a lot of people who are known as specialists. So that would mean that we have a really specific job that we're good at, that we specialize. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes we're a little bit more broad than that. So myself and Victoria are modern work specialists. That means that we have sort of purview over all the M365 stack and product family from an education posture. And I think that's a really important piece of that. We focus on teams as that experience hub and platform. So that's really our wheelhouse, but we also do a lot of other things as they roll down the line. After Ignite, our job description and our responsibilities list get multiplied 10 times. Then we have our modern work technical specialists, and I think Amy's still on here, and we've got, you know, some other folks on the call here.
Anthony. Yep.
Anthony's here, some others that are more of our technical resources, but still within the realm of modern work. So really helping us with things like Intune, Teams, voice, admin panels, configuration, things like that. And really, again, the difference between all of the STU and the ATU is that while the ATU might have between 10 and 15 accounts that they support, usually folks in the STU have between, I'll call it like 20 and 40-ish accounts that they support. And so we cover a broader area.
We're more regional. Yeah.
Yeah, geographically.
Yep.
Okay, security specialist, just like what it sounds like, specializing in our security products. Also, the security and compliance tech specialist, more technical side of that piece. So where modern work has the MWS and the TS, we have the security specialist and then the security tech specialist. Partner specialists are helping us with our partner ecosystem. So all of the partners that Microsoft has, being able to support them as they align their offerings to our Microsoft stack and our solutions. Azure specialist, just like it sounds, right? So head in the clouds, right? All things Azure, from servers to data to research to AI. Those of you who have heard of Open Education Analytics or any of those predictive and prescriptive data lake efforts, et cetera, inside of education, usually that kind of falls under Azure. Then we have business application specialists. So all you people freaking out about how many people are building Power Apps inside of your tenant, and if you have licenses for it, and if you need something different like Dataverse, our biz app specialist can support that. And then we have obviously Surface specialists who are focused on our physical Surface devices. And then our education industry specialists, and we have a team of these folks. Some of them might be on the call. Sometimes they hover in the background. But these are folks who have specific industry knowledge. And so they will typically help with things like our Microsoft Innovative Educator programs, certifications, global training partners, our events, etc. So Yes, Renata's here also as a modern work specialist. We've got a lot of folks in the back. So if you're somebody that's here from Microsoft, it might be cool for you in the chat to just put down what your role is as we're going through this so that people can start to associate you with what you do during the day for your real job. And that's the stew. It's pretty deep bench, but they cover a lot of things. And these are really the folks who, after your AE says, hey, would you like to do this? Then your specialists start to come in and help you make it happen.
All right. The best part, Andrea is going to take the CSU, but the best part is that the names are so long. All of them have acronyms, and I don't know if you need to dive deep into all of these, but they got an acronym for every single one of them.
Well, Andrea is not going to have time to get deep into all of them because I have a plane to catch, unfortunately. So I am just going to cover my role and then hand it off to my team. But I'm a customer success manager specifically in modern work, and then folks on my team are also BizApps CSMs. And once you have the tools at your disposal, we're there to help you to drive that work and help make sure that you're successful and come up with best practices. We focus a lot on change management and helping you walk through that process. And it's the most fun job of all the ones we've heard so far. We get to work right with you all the time. That's just my opinion. I'm going to hand it back over to Heather and team. I'm going to switch to my mobile so I can listen in, but I am headed home to Atlanta, friends. So I am super excited to get on this plane and see Heather and Steph and everybody in person very soon. So,
all right.
Thanks for listening.
Play on, Playa. Welcome home. All right.
Don't worry, Abby. We are going to mention you.
You're in this
don't
list,
worry,
Abby.
we didn't forget
Just
you,
wait.
Abby. Okay, so I'm not going to go dive deep into what the cloud solution architects do, specifically the cloud solution architect engineers, because they're going to do that. That's actually part 2 of our presentation today. So the other one that I am going to mention, since Andrea did customer success manager, is a lovely acronym you hear us say a lot probably is CSAM. So the Customer Success Account Manager, if you've been around with Microsoft for a while, we called them TAMs before. And they are going to partner very closely with the account executive and the account technology strategist. So there's like a trifecta of making sure that the customer is fully protected and committed, and you'll hear a little bit more about that. And so yeah, they're really helping. So I love the description that was given to me was that they're the chief operating officer of the account team in terms of relationships and supporting our customers. And so we've got that customer success unit. Like I said, we're starting big with Microsoft, and eventually we're going to get into more specifics with them. But would somebody like to take our bonus teams? Because we are not forgetting. Don't worry, Abby. See, we put you on here, girl.
Go for it, Vicky D. Since I railroaded our entire stew slide from you.
Okay, sorry. All right, found the mute button. Okay, commercial executives, which I'm glad that they changed our account executive name back because yeah, that's not great. Helps with licensing. So whenever you all are like, hey, I want to know what a quote would be for if I bought, the Viva suite, right? We usually can reach out to our commercial executives and they help us kind of make sense of the whole licensing world. Our Microsoft learning consultants or our MLCs usually have deep education backgrounds. I think Andrea used to be an MLC before, and they're the ones that's giving that kind of training. They have familiarity with how we would use these tools in the classroom, so it's a lot easier for them to kind of communicate to you all and understand your use cases. And then we have the training hub. So whenever we kind of close down our brick and mortar buildings, we kind of repurposed those individuals. And so now in a lot of our major cities where we previously had physical presences, we have these training hubs. And so whenever you're like, where do we start with using Teams? Our end users, we can't get adoption because they don't really know how to use the platform. Then we connect you with someone from these training hubs, and they already have, I think it's over 50 different programs, a pretty long catalog. So hopefully some of you have been able to take advantage of those resources.
Wonderful. And so that is, like I said, that is a very oversimplified look at the roles that exist here within Microsoft and all of our different teams. And we say them all the time. We're on here, and we thought what might be nice is to let you guys get to know one of those groups a little bit better. And I am so blessed to get to work with this team. So I told you guys back in July that I was moving into a new role, and I get to help lead the CSA-E team. We're going through a name change. We're going to go through that in just one second here. We're going to walk through the name change. And the lovely team members, when you guys come on and you start asking questions, and you start getting all these answers, it's typically folks from this Modern Work CSAE team. And so we thought, wouldn't it be nice to better understand really who they are, what they do, and how, if at all, you can engage with them? So Elizabeth and Brianna are going to walk us through this journey and tell us a little bit more about the team.
Absolutely. Thank you, Heather. Y'all, we are very fortunate to have Heather as a manager. Can I just say, hats off, kudos for being just the best manager. Look at Duran. Thank you for the hand claps. So no, getting to know the team here does begin in understanding the role. Heather, you have a lot of fans. I'm just noticing it. But getting to know the team does begin in understanding really the role and where we started versus where we are now. So there's definitely an evolution in becoming a CSAE. So when I first started at Microsoft 4 years ago, I entered in as a PFE, what we call as a premier field engineer. But for the longest, even before I started, we were known as those premier field engineers. But then starting in July of 2020, we then became customer engineers, right? So not much of the role really changed, just the name, of course, the rebrand, as we are beginning to move into those cloud solutions, right? Hence getting into the CSAE role change. But also, as I said, our focus began to, of course, move to the cloud. We still have customers on-prem, but the cloud, of course, comes first for us. So we begin our central point of focus for those technology areas. So recently we did become Cloud Solution Architect Engineering in July of this year. And of course, by the end of April, we will be known as those Cloud Solutions Architects. So definitely a transitional phase, growing phase we've been going through as we continue to just make sure the business stays in line with where the cloud is going. So exactly what is a CSA-E, CSA? So we are those technical experts, or we try to be, right? As we work with customers and we build those relationships, we do become those trusted advisors as well, because essentially you all do come to us for that guidance, right? And that assistance on those various workloads, whether it be in speaking about the best practices on deploying the certain technologies or the appropriate training to train those admins on those workloads. So whether it be DLP, sensitivity labels, OneDrive for Business, or, governance, security, and compliance with teams, right? Or, working with Duran on your security posture. But as CSAEs, we do handle those proactive issues more so than reactive. So ensuring that we are setting you all up with the proper success as you all do work with the various Microsoft workloads of Microsoft Stack, those applications, whether that be through training, again, as I mentioned, the knowledge transfer, and of course, helping you all to get a deeper understanding of those technologies. But we really do like to help in reducing any of those reactive support needs, because we know that can be a little daunting and it can be a little frustrating too, working there. But of course, we know sometimes you may have to go that route. But I will allow Elizabeth to kind of dive a little bit further into exactly what we do.
Yeah, so like Brianna said, we are a deep technical resource, so typically at the 400 level and above, and each of us specializes in a different workload. So myself, I specialize in our collaboration technologies like SharePoint, OneDrive, Viva, Duran and Security, Brianna and Microsoft Teams. And we work with customers in different capacities depending on the business need and our own personal preferences. So there are some engineers who do primarily transactional work, and what that means is that they work with customers on a short-term basis, maybe a 1-hour phone advisory call, or a pre-built workshop that we have to go over a specific area of their technology. We also have what we call designated engineers. So that is typically an engagement that's pre-scoped with the customer to last the length of a full contract year, focused on a specific technology. Again, the one that the CSA-E specializes in, and those typically range from 400 hours for the year to 1,600 hours. We also have a pod, also called Enhanced Designated Engineering, where we have a group of engineers specializing in different technologies working together on one customer. So Brianna and I both lead pods in education. On my pod, we have an Exchange and security resource, SharePoint and OneDrive resource, who's myself, Teams resource, Power Platform resource, and then there are additional resources that can be added on, such as Intune and Windows 11. And I mean, I don't want to say that we're like the Avengers, but we're kind of like the Avengers, but for Microsoft.
You
And
can
then
say
also,
that.
okay.
Own it, because you
All
are.
right. Yes. Yes. So, or like Captain Planet, like we pull out our rings and then we all join together and then come to you. And then we also have CSAs who are support technology advisors, and that's a smaller offering where they work more at the 100 to 200 technical level to try and help enhance cloud maturity on one single workload. So not quite as deep technically as designated engineering, but if there's still some guidance needed on that roadmap to modernization, that's where STAs come in. And just like specialists, not quite as much as specialists, but we have some spread out roles within the CSA community. So we have folks who focus on security, which covers access management, identity threat protection, things like that. We also have modern work, which is where myself and Brianna fall. So Exchange, SharePoint, anything in the M365 suite. Azure apps and infrastructure, that's going to be, anything infrastructure as a service or platform as a service. So a lot of virtual machines, storage, networking, and then Azure data and AI. So that's going to be focused on SQL, cloud scale analytics, data governance, etc. So if you need help from one of us, how do you do that? The biggest thing is, since we are a post-sales resource, you have to talk to your CSAM, so your customer success account manager, since they're the hub of all of your other Microsoft contacts, to go ahead and bring us in. They can resource and find the correct CSA to help you based on skill set and availability. And they can also talk to you about all the different offerings that I mentioned in the previous slide at a much deeper level. It's also important to understand what CSAs excel at and where other areas of Microsoft excel. So customer service and support, that's for reactive cases. You get an error, you think something's a bug. That's where you're better served by submitting a ticket and dealing with a support engineer, because they have the tools into your tenant, the ability to troubleshoot, which is something that we don't have. Which is good from a security perspective. So like Brianna said in her original slide, we are more focused on the proactive work. So we're here to help you follow best practices, answer questions as you're doing deployments or modernizing, your work to the cloud, and that's where we excel. And then before you meet with one of us, it's helpful to think about what you want to get out of that meeting. What business outcomes are you looking to achieve? Because it may be that there's a better way or easier way to do whatever you're thinking, and then we can help you find the right path. And then I'll let Brianna add anything if she has other thoughts.
No, Elizabeth, I think that was perfect. One thing just to add here, as we talk about the training, there are definitely a lot of offerings that we do have from the security side, the modern work, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange, Power Platform areas, Viva as well. So again, if you all are in need or do feel like your team or your organization may be in need of any training or workshops, or please just reach out to your CSAM and they know how to get in contact with us to assist further.
Yeah, I'm with Garrett. The prepare to party is, I think, my favorite bullet point of the whole presentation. And so, on the note of prepare to party, we have our final person. So don't leave us just yet, because Duran is, he's going to tell us a little bit about Cybersecurity Awareness Month here. But Duran, I'm going to give him, okay, so first of all, he did say I was allowed to call him Duran. He is hungry like the wolf. But also, he's going to tell us a little bit about Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Duran is our team motivational speaker. I will tell you, I tell everyone, I'm like, if you're in a bad mood, you just get on the phone with Duran and you're going to feel better. So I asked him to tell us about Cybersecurity Awareness Month and then send us off with a little motivation, because that's what he does for our team all the time. He sends us motivational messages. And so, Duran, here's your stuff, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
The infamous mute button. I don't click on it. So real quick, because we're a little bit out of time, I'm going to jump right into this. October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Check this out. It's really cool. October is 1010. What is code? 1001. Oink, oink. Okay, y'all didn't get my joke. All right, so Cybersecurity this month, we have some amazing links in here. You go here to these links and check them out. The first one, Cybersecurity is Aware with Microsoft. When you go out to this site, the first thing you're going to see is cybersecurity. Everyone has a role. Remember that. 99% of technology is on point. 1% human is the reason why all of us got a job. So remember, when it comes to cybersecurity, everybody has a role in it, right? So we're going to walk right into this blog. When you jump into this blog, it has some amazing points to hit. The first one is security start with awareness. I have on trifocals today. I can see far, near. My readers ain't working that well on a small laptop, but they are working. So we have to be aware that we are in a cyberspace. The second thing is, it is up to each of us to be cyber smart. Okay, that's a given. Everyone on this call is smart because we all made it out of the 6th grade. It took me a couple times, but I still made it out of 6th grade. And I made it to Microsoft, right? And the other part is be aware. Phishing emails. I just talked to a district this week that was getting phished. Phishing is still aware. Devices and software. I'm a TikTok fanatic. I saw a video on TikTok where the guy pulled a skimmer off of the credit card machine at the counter. So not only do we have to worry about phishing, IoT devices, and SaaS applications, we need to foster diversity in cybersecurity, which means even though we're good people and we act right majority of the time, we have to remember how bad actors think. So let's think on both sides of that, and that is going to help us in cybersecurity. Now, my favorite part, real quick. Heather said I'm a motivational speaker. No, I'm not. I'm a big old kid that has permission to get in trouble, right? So today is Thoughtful Thursday. To do a recap, we have Magnificent Monday, Terrific Tuesday, Wonderful Wednesday, and then something to think about on Thursday. So today, this is what we're going to think about, right? The team has done a presentation over what Microsoft offers. AEs, ATSs. The STU has a bunch of people. We call them the special unit, kind of like Law and Order, right? Then we have the CSU. That's my team. We on that strong strength, right? And then we had a breakdown of the CSA roles. The one thing that we didn't talk about is what I want to think about today. Our customer, you. We are ineffective without you. We are a team together. We are like the Wonder Twins. Let's activate, and we're going to protect all these students, faculty, and staff in education. You're wondering, well, Duran, why is that important? Because in order to have Duran, You gotta have kids, baby. So, in order for Duran to be all that he can be, we need you. We need faculty. We need staff. We need Microsoft. We need everyone so he can make more money than me. Peace.
Thank you,
Nice.
Duran. Thank you, everybody. It was wonderful to get to see you today as we made a little sense of Microsoft.